Hey everyone, gonna be drawing a little portrait today. This is of Harstem, a StarCraft 2 YouTuber and pro. Massively into StarCraft, so I thought I'd just draw him. And also I watch a lot of his streams and videos, so why not? As usual, we're just gonna find the gesture of the portrait, the flow of the head, and we'll then head on to the brow line, find that nose, and maybe the mouth's probably around here, middle of the mouth there. Maybe I can bring the chin maybe up here. I think where I put it there is a bit too low. So I think we're okay with all those proportions. Am I going to put that as my top of the forehead? And maybe up here is the hair. You might be able to see the hair, but I can move it down later. And next thing we can find is the nose. I'm just going to let myself flow around this portrait. Like right now I just went to, the corner where the bridge of the nose meets the brow there, went down to where I think the nostril would be, did the same on this side. We're quite front facing, maybe just a little bit of a turn towards like his left, so we just had to keep that in mind. And we're not looking too up or too down, but we could still see like a little bit of the underneath of the nostril, as like most noses are tilted upwards slightly. We'll find just nostril to nostril, that nice shape we got there. Maybe we'll find the rest of that nose, just following the shadow shapes that we can see. Actually, we'll find what can we see of the underneath of that nose, just about that really. If you can't see too much now, I'll definitely go back in and darken a lot of this with a darker pencil. Weirdly enough, I am using a 10B, and this is the Pit Matte Graphites. So 10B doesn't really mean a lot, though it can actually go dark. It's like, I don't know, it might as well be like a 6B or 4B of a normal pencil, a normal graphite pencil. Find that top of the space between the top of the lip and the nose. Now I need to stop. Actually, I'm going a bit maybe too much into details. Let's go from nostril to that corner of the brow. What's that big shape I can see? Maybe something like this looks good. And I'm going to leave a lot of these, I think, lines in. I don't mind. It's always good to draw through your drawing. Don't be so precious with it. And it gets you a bit more confidence. Okay, that's okay so far. Whereas the top of those eyes would be around here. There's not a lot of space between the brow line and the eye here. And then we should bring it down to maybe bottom of the eye might be here and then here. We can double check that space with the nostril. If I'm bringing that nostril in here, what's the space between there? That's the shadow shape I can use. Bring it up. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. I think I did that distance okay, but we can we'll figure out more later as we continue through the portrait. Let's go on to the lips. This picture of him actually had a really strong light on his right side or the left side of the picture, so I just went into Lightroom, or there's Lightroom or there's a Photoshop, and I just darkened that bit down. It's fine for a photo, but for a drawing I'm just going to keep that all on the dark side. And where are we here? I was doing the lips. Is that distance okay for me? Yeah, I think it's fine. And then bottom of the lip around here, I think. Distance from here and here, just judging from the space between the middle of the lips, top of the lip. It's a little bit bigger than that, so yeah, this is okay. Then we'll find the chin, following the shadow shape a little bit to give me a good sense of proportion. And then that line there. Alright, we've got pretty much the middle of this face down. It's not too bad. Let us continue. I'm going to work maybe from which side will I work first? Let's go left side of the drawing here. There's a nice big shadow shapes we can work with. Yeah, I've been watching StarCraft for a long time now. I say watching because I played it a bit, maybe a bit more when I was younger. But that thing's way too hard for me. I love it. It's unreal. But I think the max rank I've ever got was a gold. Not that I played a lot of ranked in general, but games too hard. I'm not that fast. I think I maybe had a max actions per minute APM of like 70. I was also a Protoss player, so that might explain some things. Where are we here? Definitely better at like games like you know, where I have to control one thing at a time. I was pretty okay at League of Legends. But StarCraft too hard. Love to watch it though. Amazing thing to watch. Just so impressive, and how every game is very different is just constant entertainment. Where are we here? And still just kind of finding in my shapes. Now that I've got the big ideas of things, I can bring in the rest. Actually, I still need to find that jawline, don't I? So let's do that. I think I might just need to feel it out. If I actually, where's the inside of that eye? So, say about here's the inside of that eye. So the outside must be around here. Then, is the outside here? Yeah. So where's that shadow shape end? Say around here. And we can do the distance between next shadow shape to next shadow shape. That's the cheekbone going into the back of the skull there. It's always a nice shape to find. Like that wraps around into itself here. And where are we going? From here, trying to find that jawline, weren't we? I think I might just do a gesture line, and then I can fix it later if it's not 100%. Actually, where's the jawline start to turn? That's the end of that lip. We'll start to turn around here. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Again, I'll know later. I don't mind it being a bit wrong right now. Let's continue with these shadow shapes that we can see. They're very helpful for designing proportion or finding proportion. Yeah, I can already tell that shape's just a little wrong. That's okay. I find once you start putting in values, it's a bit easier to see what shapes all over the place. Like, it's a good idea if you ever try maybe just using some charcoal powder or a big stick, and don't, you know, draw out your shapes very meticulously. Just work with the shadows, making big sweeps with the stick of charcoal you got. You can do this with painting as well, like, you know, when you just block in values. It's good practice. Alright, we'll work on this side now. What did I say was my... Yeah, there's that nostril there, isn't it? Yeah. And that cheekbone's over here. So, where are we here? The jawline must be coming back down here. I think I've made this too long, so I'll need to fix that later. Yeah, you can see this all here is a bit too long at the moment. I think I've made the space between here and here too long, so it should come up to maybe here might be better. And then following here, everything can come up. So where's my eraser? Ooh, it's absolutely filthy. So the good thing with putty rubber is that you can kind of just play around with it, and then it usually just cleans itself. The matte pencil is erasing pretty okay, which is good as well. Sometimes it doesn't like to be erased, but the putty rubber won't damage your paper, which is nice. Let's fix our proportions here. Yeah, it's a good bit up, so I'd say that's probably the end of my chin, eh? That already looks a bit better to me. Again, throughout this drawing, I'm not using my wrist too much. I'm kind of just still using holding the pencil still and just using my elbow and my shoulder to figure out where I'm going with things. Yeah, all those proportions look a lot better than they did earlier. means over here will look better as well, which is nice. Everything will sit together. Maybe not so much turned, maybe over here. And then it turns a bit more. Yeah, that looks okay. I can work with that anyway. We've pretty much got most of the features down now, I think. Just gotta get in the ear and then just some sort of shape for the hair. To find that ear, I'm just using the brow and then the bottom of the nostrils, just joining those lines up. Could do the same over here. Again, with the camera distortion, it's actually going away from us a bit further, so we can follow along. Then that neckline. This jaw needs to be fixed, I think. Maybe a bit more like that. Something's a little off here, I think. Yeah, because that's actually, if this is my eye here, that cheekbone should come out maybe like this more. And then, because the cheekbone should be the widest part of the front of the face anyway. Did I make this too long again? Quite possibly. Okay, we'll continue with it anyway. And then we can figure it out later. Let's try get into the details a little bit more, or just to get some shading in. Sorry, that was my computer heading off there. Just gonna do general strokes for everything at the moment. Still following the forms of the face anyway. We're not gonna get too nitty gritty yet. I can design that later. I'm gonna put most of this eye in shadow. I know there's a white of the eye, but it's not, it's not actually white. It's like a little bit grey, really. The whitest part is maybe that highlight there. But even that sometimes is not completely white. I might not go that detailed anyway. We'll see how far we can go with this. We want to put all this side in shadow anyway. Now I might be able to go a bit darker, but I won't really know until I start putting everything else down. It just looks, right now, like it looks quite dark next to that, the white of the paper, you know? To me, anyway. I'm gonna try also keep them as much like kind of mark making as I can. I don't want to smoothen this out too much. I feel like if I smooth it out, I'll lose a lot of life in the drawing. Okay, where are we going now? Let's sharpen this up. Actually, I'll move on to my 12B. It'll make me go a bit darker. That definitely needs to be sharpened. This bullet sharpener is actually really nice. Gets a good point. It's by Mobius and Rupert. I think they're like a Faber as well. Dead handy. Let's get a bit more detail. Let's try find those shapes again. Now that we kind of covered a lot of it in shading, you generally lose a little bit of what you're doing. but it's a good idea to find it again, and that will, kind of losing it then lets you got the general idea where everything is. You can kind of design a little bit more now. I'm going to be a bit more careful with things, because now I'm going to be a bit more careful with the direction of my marks. So I need to start thinking about form a little bit more. Or like slight turns of the form anyway. Always thinking about form when you're drawing. And this is a stage also when you can, you'll probably start making slight adjustments in your drawing too. In proportion wise. Let's figure out where I'm going first. So I know I was making kind of a core shadow on the nose. Gotta get that idea everywhere here. And I'll probably go even darker again later, but let's just take our time. Start actually drawing in that eye as well. We know we're replacing it, so we're feeling good. This is where I've gone away from the elbow movements a lot. I'm just using my wrist. Which you won't, it's kind of hard to get as like straight and nicer lines, but we're working small, so we'll work with what we can do. And you gotta remind yourself, your drawing's not gonna look amazing straight away. Especially like when, in this stage where like, I basically lost a lot of that drawing. But I have to trust the process. It's a process that I've used a lot. Has worked for me in the past. So I know if I just continue with this, and I know the tools I can use to fix my mistakes, so we're gonna be okay. You gotta remind yourself that there's no rush when you're drawing. If you rush yourself, you're gonna make mistakes. And the quickest thing, which mistakes are fine. It's absolutely fine. But the quickest way to work is to think about what you're doing and place things down correctly instead of hastily. Just gonna get the good big shape of this shadow here so I don't lose it. Going with the direction of that mouth, and there's a little bit of light here. What is that light? On the light side of things, we're separating light and dark here. Yeah, but definitely it is, but I think it's on the darker side of the lights, or the lighter side of the darks anyway. Not the lighter side of the dark even. Figure out where we're going. It's quite a soft edge and those lips here. You don't have to worry about that too much. That shape gets lost, it's fine. Yeah, I definitely will see myself going a bit darker here, but the more I work slowly, the better. I'm not going to lose my drawing. Even this is actually quite a soft transition from skin to lips, as it's very similar value. And where's the bottom of that lip? We said it was there. Just gonna get that shape of that shadow and then mark it in again. You can see as you start drawing in these darker shapes, the drawing starts to come to life a little bit more. You know, now I think about it, I think I've been watching and playing StarCraft since I was about like 13, 14, a long time ago. Whenever Wings of Liberty was still the main thing anyway in the pro scene. I wasn't watching it, I think, when Heart of Swarm came out. I think I kind of came back around Legacy of the Void era a little bit after that. Still not super sure how I feel about that chin. It's not too bad, but oh, I lost my drawing. There you go. Or my reference image. We're okay. Just gonna put down a light tone over here because I don't want that to be as light as everything else. That needs to be a turn. And this eye shape could be fixed a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Right, where are we again with this over here? If I'm ever lost on my proportions or where my drawing is, I can always just look back at the reference image. You know, you did it once, if you lose it again, you can do it again. A lot of times drawing is just about believing in yourself. Especially the way I paint, I just, you know, I lose the drawing. I'll lose my drawing all the time because I start off with the brush. I draw with the brush even. So usually when I start blocking in, I completely lose those lines that I had earlier. See, I can already tell once I go in to do these darker shadows in, or the reflective light on this dark side, that I need to start going darker in other places. Let's sharpen our pencil again. Because like this is like not harsh enough as a jump. Not that I need anyway. Graphite is actually something I don't always do. It's something I just find myself going back to if I need to, you know, push myself to take time. Sometimes if you go too, I find myself, if I'm getting too comfortable with a medium, I find myself going too quickly and then messing up. Because I think I should be better than I am at it. The only reason I'm doing well is that I'm taking my time, I'm respecting what I'm doing. I'm thinking. Where are we now? Let's get in the neck. The drawing is definitely coming alive slowly, so our method is working, which is good. So we just need to keep continuing. I need to leave a lot of this light side, I think. Light, like there's not a lot of variation in value, so I don't need to push it in. Oh, I think I made that shape wrong. Or not wrong, but like on the wrong placement. I find hard because I'm looking at the reference image right in front of me, but I'm drawing down. So I always need to double check where I'm placing things. It could be a little lower, I think. Yeah, that's a bit better, I think. I made these eyes too squished. Yeah, way too squished. People should be about here, and the ending of that should be about here. So that means top lid ends around here. And now that's okay. Yeah, that's not too bad now. We're getting there. What are we doing here? Something around the eyes anyway. Is that distance okay? That's the shape that's not okay. There we go. And then that forehead actually comes in a little bit more. Yeah, we're definitely getting there with the drawing. Slowly seeing them come alive. I find with graphite, it always takes a little bit. That could just be me not super comfortable with drawing with graphite though. You know, if I was using painting, I'm sure I'd... oil paint even. I'm sure I'd be quite far along now. It's always good to try some mediums that you're not super duper comfortable with. Again, like I said, it gets you to slow down a bit. Oh, where did my reference go? There we go. Alright, now let's just try putting in some value on the light side. Just so we have some ideas, so we're not working with this that white of the page. Well, this page is actually kind of creamy, nearly not proper white. You might not be able to see this too well in the video, but it definitely helps me. Also allows me to then come in later and use the eraser a little bit as a drawing tool. And to be honest, there's probably a good chance I could have used this, or just done this at the start. So it would have given me a good idea how dark to go straight away, you know? But that's something to learn from. It's kind of hard to do it on this side where my pencil's going to fall off the page, but we'll do it. Okay, I think we've got enough down now. Yeah, we can definitely go darker with these. Let me sharpen this up. And maybe we won't look at the drawing or the reference image too much. We'll just... no, you kind of have to, I suppose. But we can at least try to trust our instincts with the design of it all. This last stage of drawing really is when I think portrait comes to life, just those little bits at the end. Where you take your time. Start really thinking about how something turns. Getting those last little bits of value in. I think also with graphite, it kind of nearly blends itself sometimes, especially if you're going over it with more tone. Because you know, as you draw on top of it, you're moving the bits of pigment, bits of pigment around. Sharpen this up again. I don't want to lose the sharpness of that pencil. Let's go into that eyes. I'm going to zoom in a bit more on my reference so I can see what I'm doing. I need to come up with my eraser a little bit around here. I'll have to see later. There's not a lot of darkness. This is all a lot of soft edge. Always a lot of soft edges around the rounded form as the eye. as I'm going through this, I'm just checking what kind of edge every value is making, what's Castell trying to tell me, you know. And then I need to think, well, how do I represent that on my page? I need to sharpen this pencil again. Just try to keep that point. I think I want that turn of the form just a bit darker around the cheekbone, as it's a quicker turn than the rounded features of the mouth. Where are we going here? Oh, getting distracted. I always find myself getting distracted. Going on to the parts of the head that I don't necessarily need to go into right now. If I get my darks correctly, my shadow forms, I shouldn't actually have to do too much with the light at all. Just the difference between the both will tell a lot, will tell enough anyway. Yeah, I don't like the way I did those lips. I think it's just this dark spot here that's confusing me. Gotta make sure it's all one. That whole edge needs to be lost. And now we can go on to the area of the jaw. Continue with that. Okay, they can go just a bit darker than what we have. Should still read as reflective light. And get that ear in. Try to keep that simple. Oh, it's a pretty simple shape in the reference anyway. And where are we with the neckline? The neckline? Just the neck. I need to sharpen this again. Oh, where are we? Sorry, I've completely lost the page there for a second. I swear I was drawing. Don't actually like how dark I made this neck over here compared to the rest of it. It's a bit distracting. Just gonna dab all that off. Yeah, to be honest, that works. That's okay. We'll move on to the hair up here. A lot of the hair is actually lost in that shadow, so you don't need to do too much. If you could just like little indications. Right now he looks bald as well, so we should probably sort that out. Do I need to sharpen my pencil, or I just go with it? I'll go with what I got. I don't know what I've done with the hair here, it looks a bit silly. Let's try to represent that shape here. Definitely need to sharpen it now. There you go, that'll do for there. It's not too bad. You definitely know he has hair now and he's not bald, so that's a big plus. Oh, lost my reference image again. Where am I going? Maybe we should finish up these lips actually before I continue. Just want to show their soft transition over here. Don't want to do too much with them. If you do too much with the lips, it can look a bit odd. Again, it's about that whole like putting too much focus in the wrong place. Really, your eyes should be the focus of the portrait most of the time. That's where you want people to look. That doesn't mean doing loads with the eyes, but you know, like this whole valley, like the way I'm doing, this eye's quite dark, but surrounded by light, so it's going to have more emphasis than this eye over here. Just to the eye, just the nature of things. Alright, now might go on my eraser a little bit and see what we can do. So I might just make this area just a slight bit darker. Here. Just gonna do big strokes for the eraser. See if we can get anything in that might just convey, hey, this is getting more light than the rest of it, you know? Alright, how do I feel about this drawing now? Before I continue, or before I call it even finished up. I should maybe draw on the rest of the shirt he's wearing anyway. Right now it's just a bit of a floating head. Do something simple for it. Maybe even just line work will do. Yeah, okay, right. Now, to check if everything's... Oh, I just realised, forgot his ear. It's kind of important sometimes. Now again, it's maybe too much emphasis on it because the background's not that dark. How do you feel about this drawing before I want to say, hey, it's done? I'm going to take one look at it upside down as well. Just so I can, and also from far away, just to tell myself if anything's a little bit out of whack, you know? I will do that in just a second. I'm just seeing things that maybe I forgot. Might be a decent idea to put in. Okay, the only thing I might change is the jawline there a little bit. Just this one here. Because I drew that as wide as the cheekbone, which is just not correct. Just not how things work. And then soften that a little bit. Make sure this is all soft. I think we're feeling okay about it. Yeah, not too bad of a drawing, I don't think. Oh, it's always hard to put the pencil down, isn't it? To be like, ah, yes, we are done. It's always more that you could probably play around with. Maybe I could probably maybe I could start putting some darker things down just a little bit in some areas. Maybe this is still a bit too light as a reflective light. No, I'm going crazy. I'll leave it. Thanks for joining me, guys.